Okay, we're streaming. I didn't think we were going to be streaming right away, but we're streaming now, so okay. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Just going to pop the chat out so that I can see it better. Make that full screen. Oh, maybe not full screen, but half the screen. There we go. Can you guys hear me okay? Can hear you fine. Okay, great. Loud and clear. Hello, Sheldon. Hello, Tim Postma. Hello, Ben Brady. Gary T has been made a mod today. We've got HVAC A to Z in the house as well. I know I'm early. Shadell 3D, hello, hello, hello. As you can see, things have changed yet again in this studio. I ended up having to build myself a bench and rearranging things this week, and we're going to be talking about that today. We're on early. I don't know why it immediately went to streaming. It should not have, but it is what it is, and we're here. Okay. Smoking, good day, or good evening, depending on where you are. For all of you guys that are part of the YouTube or part of the Facebook group, and I know most of you here are part of our Facebook group. MSNBC, Jim Lawler. Hello, Jim. For any of you that are part of our Facebook group, there has been a lot of bots in there recently. I've done everything that I can in instituting rules. I've changed the group to private, which will take place on January 31st. There's a whole bunch of things that I don't know how we got a bot. It just seemed to start coming up late December, early January. And every day there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 posts from bots, and I keep banning them. I keep removing the posts, but it's just going to be what it is. I'm looking for people who I can trust and who will make good mods to be mods over on our Facebook group. So if you are somebody like that, you can always message me over on Facebook, and we'll talk about your being a mod. It is completely voluntary, so it's all a matter of people just keeping an eye out. I mean, I've had that group now for 5 years, and it has become a real chore. The people that I have as mods now, my wife and Jess, neither of them really go to the Facebook group, so it's really tough to see what's going on over there at all the time. And I can't spend every day over there, so otherwise I'd be there 24/7, and I can't do that. Let's take a look at what's going on in the chat here. Pierre, good afternoon from Edmonton. Good afternoon, Pierre. Joseph Jolly, good afternoon. Good to see you here again, Joe. Ben, afternoon, Ben. And Gary says, bots are how you know you are getting big. Well, I don't know about getting big, but the bots have really kind of become a real pain in my butt. One of the questions I posed this week is I posted an in-progress video of the studio. I'm not going to show you that half of the studio because it is a freaking disaster and it is nuts. I haven't even set up my day-to-day computer yet. Any print plan? I do have lots of print plans. Tons of print plans, as a matter of fact. But I needed a table where I could do builds, unboxings. I could show you guys stuff, and you can see here in front of me I have part of something I'm working on, and it was a suggestion. But I want to switch over to another screen here, and I just want to share this with you guys. This is something I am contemplating doing. This is a light wall on on printables, and it's called the hexagon wall with lights. This is a very cool little project. I'm super stoked about this thing. I talked with my good friend DeWitt 3D yesterday, and he was suggesting that I do this as well because it kind of fits my theme of the hexagons. I'll turn them to match the way I do hexagons here, but I really like it to do on the back wall behind me. What do you guys think? Do you like that? That's cool. Yeah. That would give me some light back there for sure, definitely. Hey, there's Rex Waldy. Hello, Rex. I think this would be a really cool idea to put behind me on this wall. I have some LEDs here, RGB LEDs, but it's just a matter now of getting it set up. I have some Govee, I believe. I have like 30 feet of Govee LEDs. So I think I might do that and just build a big wall behind me so that everybody can see that. I think this is really cool. And one of the nice things, this is done by 3D Monkey. 3D Monkey did this. And you can see here, he's incorporated some little shelves that you could put in there as well. And all these files are free on printables. You just need a printer to be able to print them and a couple of colors of PLA. He used, in this case, I believe he used black and white. This is not transparent. This is actually white PLA that he's used. And I really like what he's done here. And there's some other things that have been done with the wall. I want to go back to this one here because I really like this look. This is really, really cool. But yeah, it's something that I'd like to do. And I think that it would go good. What do you guys think? I hope that you guys like that. Yeah, those shells are awesome. I agree. Yeah, what material? Devin, that would be done out of PLA. I believe he did his out of PLA. The story is, if you go and watch the video on it, the story is that he went and saw wallpaper online, and the wallpaper was the one that he decided that he wanted to do. So he went ahead and designed it in Fusion 360 and went from there. I really liked it. I thought it was a very good idea, so I decided that that's the way that I would go. We're going to probably run as long as we can today. White PLA would make a great diffuser. I agree. Yeah, I agree. The white PLA would make a great diffuser, and if you've got strong enough LED strips, it should come through that white, especially because the white's not that thick anyway. But I think that would look really good back there. It would give some life to the background. It'd give some light, and it would be something different for our studio here. And a couple of other things that I've talked about. Now, somebody also suggested doing this grid wall, and this is the honeycomb storage wall. And you can see I've got some parts already laid out here on the table. And I'm gonna pull up this one as well, so you guys can see it. And this is the honeycomb storage wall. I really like this because I think this is just really unique in the way that it's put together. Let me just open this up so you guys can see the whole thing. Yeah, I really like this idea. Like, you can do all kinds of things on here. I was thinking about putting it behind the door on the entrance to the studio and hanging some tools and maybe making it into a charging station for all the batteries that I have and things like that. And there's tons of remixes available online for this as well. Yeah, making my very own honeycomb hideout. Yeah, that's for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Devin, what material? I covered that one. Sorry. Yeah, I think that this is one of the cool ideas that is out there right now, and there's a couple of guys that have done this on their for their studios, and while I really like it, it's not something I want to have on screen because I really won't have the space on the wall behind me. And as you can see here, I've got some stuff here. Hello, Richard and everyone. Hello, 3D HP. That is our good friend Jerry Knapp down in Vegas. Now, Jerry is a very cool guy, and if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe to Jerry's YouTube channel. Jerry, go ahead and put your YouTube channel link in the chat so people can go and check it out. Jerry's does a great weekly roundtable of some of the most interesting 3D printing enthusiasts that you'll ever meet, and I think he's definitely worth it. Seen a video on that yesterday. Yeah. I think that this is one of the coolest setups I've seen in a while. I'm not crazy about the orange. I'll probably do purple because purple is my color. Kind of a Prince thing, but I'm not a Prince in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I really like this idea, and I think that by setting this up like this, it could definitely help out the studio here a lot. I've still got 2 areas in the studio I have set up. I have to finish setting up my day-to-day work area because that's my 9-to-5 job, and then I've got to set up my my editing area. Over here today, we're not using the editing computer as we normally would. I think one of the things that I want to do, let's go back to the proper camera here so you guys can see what's going on. I will have 2 cameras set up. The other camera is right here. This is going to be my overhead camera. I just haven't set it up yet today. But there will be an overhead camera and a little bit more light. I'm not sure how the light is looking today. It might be a little bit, I might have to take off the grids that are on there just to let a little bit more light through or get them a little closer. I'm only using, for those studio lights that I've been using here for a long time, I'm using Godot's SL60s. This table is kind of in the center of this room. It's about 12 feet wide. If I get it any more that way, I'm going to have to shuffle things, and then I won't be able to get in behind there to put in a slider if I want to do some stuff on the table and things like that. So I kind of left that with a lot of room, but I can certainly bring the things closer, the lights closer for sure. Uh, 3DHP says he's working on a video for the Wednesday print from Sanix. Yes, Sanix is or Malix 3D, whichever you want to call him, but Sanix, he's got a lot of great models over on his site, and I would recommend that you go and check them out. Gary was able to put that in there. Good. I missed Humphrey. Hi, Humphrey, 9989. Yeah, we're running a little early today. I don't know why we're running early today, but we are. No big deal. Tim Postma, when in southwestern Ontario will it be warm enough for the 3D print with a metal bed? Because I was not lucky enough since September. You live in Windsor, Ontario. Do you have what printer do you have, Tim? I'm not sure what printer you have. Murphy, or no, I got to be able to see this. Numpty 9989. No problem, buddy. Love my printers and CNC machines and laser machines. Got to learn more laser and CNC stuff. Learned loads of 3D stuff, but others got to learn loads more. Yeah, I've got to learn a lot more. Hey, there's Eric Anderson. Hi, Eric. Some people, too much light. Okay. Calgary, yeah, it's minus 17 C here right now. We got some snow that was just, ugh, I hate snow. And it's weird because I come from a place that has lots of snow. Lots and lots of snow. But yeah, it's, I hate snow. Tim says, I have a Lulzbot Taz workhorse. Okay. Does that should have a heated bed, if I'm not mistaken? It should have a heated bed, so you should be able to print on that with a heated bed. I don't see why you can't. Hey, listen, if you guys are liking the content so far, I'm going to answer your questions today. Good evening from Portugal, from Pedro. Hello, Pedro. Welcome to the first layer. This is Ask for Help. This is your chance to ask me questions about your 3D printing issues, whether that be with software, hardware, or with materials. I can pretty much answer most, if not all of them. And if I can't answer it, I'll go and find an answer for you. Because that's what I do. That's what I do. So yeah, I'm changing things up here a little bit. I'm sorry I'm so dry today. You can see I've got the printers behind me. We're going to be doing a video very soon on building an enclosure for the Prusa. We've got some sponsors for an upcoming Voron build already, and we'll be talking about them as we go forward. Also, we have our CR10, we have our Ender 3, and then of course we have the Lulzbot Taz, or Taz Sidekick over there. I need to get some light on those so people can see them when we are doing the show. And I got to get them running. So when we are doing, a show like this, that you guys can actually see that I do 3D print. I just don't have them for show. Ben says, y'all smash that like button. Yes, please go ahead and smash that like button. I see we got 22 people. Or 23 people watching right now, and we only have 11 likes. My goodness. Eric, sorry, my typing is not good. Some people use too much light. Yeah, some people use too much light. I've always kind of liked a little bit of a darker background, but you can tell I don't have my hair light on today because I'm not glowing around me. But I am sitting on a stool because if I stand up, you can't see the top of my head. But I am sitting on a stool. This was brought to me by DeWitt 3D yesterday. He brought me a spare stool that he had, which has some back support on it, so my back won't be killing me when I finish the day. But this bench, this was just an inexpensive build. I mean, I pretty much had all the wood. It took me a good afternoon to put it all together. I cut all the 2x6 and some 4x4 posts, and I just put it all together. I didn't do a whole lot more over that. Any advice to get rid of ringing? Darren P, any advice to get rid of ringing? Yeah, one of the things that you can do is slow down your machine. Usually when you get ringing, it's because your machine is moving too fast. So try and slow down your print speed just a little bit. Devin Bonzer has a question, and you've done it right, Devin. You put the word question in front of it, so that way I'll see it. If the printer is smaller than what you want to print, is it worth using Dustin to break apart the project and use film and nail, I believe, some type of weld, or better off using a bigger printer? It all depends on the model, Devin. Sometimes I use CA glue. If I've got a part that's just too big, I'll cut it down. And then I will definitely go ahead. And I use Mesh Mixer to do all my cutting. I know there are other programs out there, but I like Mesh Mixer. It's pretty easy to use. You can create some keys and key everything back together. But yeah, I've had no problem. I've done a couple of Halo helmets that were too big to fit onto an Ender 3 and printed all the parts and then just put it all together. I thought that was the best way to do it. Track lights on the ceiling to aim at the printers. I could do that, yeah. Sheldon Grant says, I'm very close to pulling the trigger on a Prusa Mark III S Plus, but I'm worried that I waited so long that as soon as I get it, they'll come out with something new. They are working on the Prusa Mark IV, and I know that that's supposed to be coming sometime this year. If you want to wait. If not, pull the trigger. I have a Mark III S, not the S Plus, but I have a Mark III S, and I like it. It works great. I have no problems with it. It does exactly what I want it to do. Tim Postma, 30 millimeters per second to 40 millimeters per second with plastic is generally reasonable. Yes, I agree with that. Fusion, not Dustin. Oh yeah, Fusion is a great program for pulling things apart. I find Mesh Mixer's a little easier to use though. PLA Gloop is the bomb. Yes, Gloop is a very good solvent to weld your PLA and other materials together. Mesh Mixer got discontinued in 2021. That I didn't know. I'll have to check into that. I've used Gloop. The last jar of Gloop I had, I gave to DeWitt 3D. So he's got my Gloop, or the Gloop that I had. You can tell there was no countdown today. Normally we have a countdown. So normally we have a countdown before we start the show. And of course we didn't. It just automatically went to streaming today, and it shouldn't have, but it did. So I'll have to change that. But I'm only streaming on YouTube today. I'm not streaming on Facebook, and I'm not streaming on Twitch today, just because I was kind of getting this put together still this morning. Hey there, Snapshot FPV. Hello, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Eric Anderson, he says, can do a video on NetFab. Yes, I can do a video on NetFab if you'd like. I can certainly do a video on NetFab for you, Eric. Yeah, that would actually be a good idea. I'm always looking for new content, that's for sure. That's for sure. So this grid wall, my biggest concern with this is that how much weight can I actually put onto it? So I have to really kind of look at that. This was all printed in PETG, the filaments.ca PETG. This is their dark gray. I had a roll of it, and the 9 pieces that I did came very close to, or pardon me, this is the regular gray, not their dark gray, but the 9 pieces that I printed, I talked to my wife and she said I need to print a little bit more. But yeah, the PETG worked out really good. It's nice and strong. Dominic Versetto, hello, sir. I don't know you were starting earlier than the YouTube notification. I didn't know I was starting earlier either. That was YouTube. Well, I'm going to take partial blame for that because I didn't check YouTube to make sure that it didn't start when it early. So I do apologize. Liking the new perspective. Snapshot says, thank you. Hey, there's Guy the Jedi. Hello, Guy the Jedi. Learn not to use lighter to melt plastic. Best using soldering iron or a heat gun. Yeah, I use a heat gun usually when I'm trying to get things back into shape. There we go. Yeah, so if you've got a question for me today, just put question and then ask your question. That way it shows up in yellow when I see it as a question, and then I can certainly look at it. My stream strength says my current bit rate is what it's supposed to be, but it's lower than recommended bit rate. Well, we recommend you use a stream bit rate of 45 kbs. I'll have to check into that. You guys, it's not choppy or anything for you guys, I don't think. How do you put those pieces together? Okay, this is an interesting thing. When you get the pieces, there are connections. I don't have one handy, but you basically slot them together, and then there's a connection piece that will go between them and lock them all together, and then you screw it directly into the wall. So, video looks fine, okay. Thank you, Snapshot. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to try and do more streams during the week. I'll be doing those on Twitch as well. So I will be doing those on Twitch as well when I start doing more weekly during the week videos. Live streams, and I think I'm going to use Twitch to do some of the project stuff, and then I'll just record it because I have an ATEM Mini Pro here that allows me to record my broadcasts and all the cameras that are connected to it. So I will be using that too. And then I'll just re-upload it to YouTube as a video. Devin Bonzer is asking, material in sunlight long-term, summertime, PLA okay or better with PETG? I'm going to say much better with PETG. PLA will do okay, but you're going to need to have a pro or a high temp PLA, and you'll have to anneal it in order to get the benefits of using PLA outdoors in the summertime underneath the sun. It really must be annealed, and regular PLA will not suffice. Your best bet would be PETG in my mind, but some people don't like to print with PETG because it can be a little bit problematic for them. But you can get high temp, and you can get PLA Pro, which can be annealed in an oven or heat treated, and that's just annealing is just a fancy term for heat treating, and then you can put it outside and it should last. Hey, there's DeWitt 3D. Dominic says, I got my first ever layer shift. It was caused by PETG curling up on the sharp corner. Do you think it was a speed issue or a cooling issue? I'm going to say it's a cooling issue, because if your PETG starts to warp, two things are going on. Your bed, it could be too hot, and then the ambient air around it is causing it to shrink faster. So try lowering your bed temp by about 5 degrees and find that happy medium. And I've said this a million times, when you are printing with a new material, please do a temperature tower. It can do nothing but good things for you, because it will tell you exactly what you can do with the temperature. It'll tell you exactly where you're getting your best or your least amount of stringing, your best corners, your best bridging. It's something that I do with every brand new filament that I open up. I do a temperature tower first, even if I've used it before, because things can change from batch to batch. So something to keep in mind. Tim Postma, ASA or polycarbonate should work for the summer. Yeah, ASA will work, but you really need to have an enclosure when you're printing ASA. Just having a quick here. Okay, everybody's just saying hi to everybody else. That's all. But again, now that we've hit that 2 o'clock mark, we're just over the 2 o'clock mark, I want to reiterate again that we really do need some mods over on our Facebook group. Again, we're combating these bots. I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they got in, because everybody has to answer questions. I am going to turn on approvals, so from now on, people aren't just going to be able to join our Facebook group willy-nilly. They will have to answer a series of questions, and then an admin or a mod will have to approve them. So that's something that we're going to have to do over there. And I did have turned on at one time, and I believe I just turned it on again, was that you have to be a member to post in the group. Outside people can't post in our group over on Facebook, but I'm going to go back and check that. I'm not a Facebook expert. I have to go and find all this stuff out. So please bear with me while I try and get that all done. And the group is going to be private as of January 31st. Facebook has informed me that it takes some time for them to change this from private or from public to private. So you won't be able to find it on a search because it'll be a private group. So the only way we're going to be able to allow new members in is by invite only. So Devin says, glad I found this channel several months ago. Helps me a lot with printing plan. Still lots to learn, more in Cura. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more in Cura. I've got an episode that was supposed to be up last week and then didn't go up, but it will be going up. where I'm comparing Simplify 3D, the latest version of Simplify 3D, to Cura, and I'm just covering the 4 major features that Simplify 3D was posting as their major new features. So I will be doing that. Private bot battles. Yeah, Jerry's, or pardon me, Sergio is saying that those bots are everywhere now. I don't know why we got targeted, but we're just, I guess, on the list of people to be targeted. So, Tim Postma, you did it right. Question: where can I share my designs with you people on your community, Richard? You can share your designs over on our Facebook group if you're a member of our Facebook group. Right now, we do have a Discord. There's no action on our Discord. I'm still trying to wrestle it back from Brian. Getting a hold of Brian is sometimes like trying to pull teeth from a bear. Brian is very busy and he's tough to get a hold of, and he's going through another move here very soon. So it's really tough trying to get that back up and running. But I will get the Discord going. For now, however, we are just doing everything over on Facebook. So that's where we're at. Dominic says, I find Discord useful for other groups. No action yet on the first layer Discord. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Rock'em Sock'em Robot time with those boys. Yes. Bots. Now, let's talk about robots for a minute. I have some robots. And I've got parts to make more robots. Do you guys want to see robots on this channel? Do you want me to do some robot projects coming up? Because if you do, I would love to do some robots. Now that I've got this nice big table here, I've got, basically 5 feet of table that I can play with right here. Pierre is asking, I just installed Marlin 2.1.1. Now when I home my 3D printer, my BL Touch, on the bed only once when I used to see it doing it twice. Check the Marlin firmware, because there is a way to enable it to do it twice instead of once. So it's probably in the Marlin firmware somewhere. Darren says, ooh, robots, please do. Tim Postma, you mean a polar bear holding deer? This Coca-Cola. Yeah, I love my Coca-Cola. I don't have any today. Yeah, no, I would love to do robots. I'd love to do more robots. We've got our Maker Faire coming up, if you haven't seen it. Our Maker Faire in Calgary is coming up. We're going to, I'll be there. DeWitt 3D will be there. Gary T will be there. Gary and I are both on the committee for it this year. We will have some people running around with a camera asking you about your experience at Maker Faire, what you like, what you didn't like, and we'll be using some of that footage here on the first layer. But Maker Fairs are really interesting. I like them. I think that they are a unique sort of convention without being too commercialized, because it's a lot of people like you and I who bring our hobbies, show them off to the world, show some of the cool stuff that we can make with the technology that we have at our hands. And last year there was people there that were making rugs with a loom. There was obviously robot guys. There was computer people there showing you how to do upgrades to your computer. There were some 3D printing guys just besides me and DeWitt 3D. There was rocketry people there. There was model makers there. There was all kinds of guys there, guys and gals, I should say. I don't want to be sexist. So I think that Maker Fairs are a great opportunity for people to get out into their community and see a hobby that might interest them. You never know what might interest you when you go to one of these maker fairs. I mean, you may find yourself building model planes. You might find yourself getting into making wax candles. Who knows? But I think that maker fairs are a great opportunity for people to get out, discover something new, and maybe get away from technology for a little while. Or embrace technology to further your hobby. So that's something else that you can you can really take a look at. Let's see what's going on here. Have a robot transform. There's a challenge for you in 3D printing, Devin says. How do I make a transforming robot? I think I can probably figure something out. Someone should invent a robotic snuggle hammer or a robotic sludge hammer. I can't read the. I need to increase the the. Let me see if I can do that. Can I do that here? Oh, I really need to increase the size of this because it's just way too small. It's just way too small. Yes, robots, Joseph Jolly says. I hear there is a Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival coming up. I've heard something about that, Dominic. I haven't, nobody's contacted me about it. And I really want to know a little bit more about it because I'd love to take part in it. When I say hi, guys, I mean everyone, both sexes. I agree with you. May 13th and 14th at the BMO Center in Calgary, Darren says, yes, come join us at the BMO Center. May 13th and 14th at the BMO Center. It is running Saturday and Sunday. I'll be there. I'll be emceeing again this year. I emceed last year, so I'll be emceeing again this year, and we are working on trying to get some exciting people to come out. Geraldine Ham, Maker Faire. She just put Maker Faire there in the chat, so check that out. Richard, what other hobbies do you have? Wow, I have so many. I love to woodwork. I don't get as much time to woodwork. My new editing desk was all completely built by me. There were some pictures I posted over the summer. I built this new show desk. IKEA provided the tables, the lack tables in the back for the new printer stands. But I like woodworking. I also like model building when I get the opportunity to do it. I like to paint my models. Let me see if I can, oh, geez, move that. I got to find a way to get that not to move. Hang on here. I got some stuff here. I like to paint my models. Oh, I got to pull up my, there we go. Otherwise I sit on it. Whoop, I'm going out of frame. Dun, dun, dun. This chair's got wheels on it. All right, so I like to paint my models. These you can't see very well because we're not very close, but I've got Luke and Han, and I've got Leia. I still got to have some work to do on these, but they are on my shelf for now. I love painting. I've got a Millennium Falcon sitting down here behind me. That needs to be assembled. It is a fine molds Millennium Falcon that I want to get some lighting into it, and I want to get some brass etched parts and things like that. But yeah, woodworking and painting and 3D printing. I do have a 3D, or I do have a cool R2-D2 from Disneyland. Okay, let me just, Maynard Monson, welcome. I'm having trouble uploading the updated Arduino software for my Creality CR10S. Maynard, reach out to me on Facebook or send me an email to richard@thefirstlayer.com, and I'll see if I can't try and help you with that. It's a little bit beyond the scope of what we can do today. I would like to see you combine 3D printing with some of your other hobbies, Snapshot says. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do that, certainly. Devin's question is, can high humidity affect any project after it's been printed and removed from the printer and cleaned up? That really depends. That depends a lot on if you have annealed it or not, because PLA, once it's printed, will still absorb moisture. So it can cause issues, yes, I would say. But if you've got higher quality PLA, like Pro or high temp PLA, these are done in PLA. I print a ton of stuff in PLA that I paint. Once they're finished and painted, it shouldn't affect them because now they have a barrier. Hey, there's Mark Baker. Hello, Mark Baker. I would like to learn to use an airbrush, Dominic says. Yeah, I want to actually do some airbrush tutorials. I've been airbrushing for a long time. These, however, are not airbrushed. These are hand painted. But I would like to do some airbrushing and teach you guys a little bit more about that. Ben Brady's question is, have you had any chance to try the diamond nozzles from US Synthetics? No, I have not, but I have reached out to them to see if they will send me one that I can do a review on. So hopefully we get something there. Tim Postman says, question, will 3D printing replace small size woodworking projects? I don't think so. I think that 3D printing and woodworking have very distinct audiences. I like woodworking. I love the smell of fresh cut wood. I like staining. I like finishing pieces in wood. However, that being said, I also like 3D printing. So what I can't do in wood, I can dimensionally do in 3D printing. And that to me is a serious benefit. So I don't think they're going to replace one another. I think they will work side by side with one another. Sheldon Grant says, question, how do you know when a nozzle should be changed? What are the signs that it's causing the problem? Thank you. Sheldon, there's a couple of things that you can look out for. One is check the orifice of the nozzle. So when that plastic is coming out, if it looks like it's squishing out wider than it should, there's a good chance that your nozzle has worn down and has opened up that orifice a little bit. The area between the tip of the nozzle and where it widens inside the actual nozzle is very, very small. Like, it's micro small. So dragging a nozzle over something abrasive, like a textured bed, for instance, over time will open up that nozzle. If you're using abrasive materials such as wood, glow-in-the-dark carbon fiber, anything like that, anything that has an abrasive in it, that's going to open up your brass nozzle as well, and it can cause a problem. I haven't changed nozzles on these machines in probably over a year, but I usually recommend every 2 to 3 years, depending on how you use your machine, to replace your nozzle. If it's something that has bent or has jammed more times than not, then replace your nozzle. Ben Brady's question is, have you had any, okay, I've seen that one, and okay. Just looking here. Woodworking and 3D printing are completely different skill sets. Can't see one replacing the other. I can't see them replacing one over the other either. But I think that there's a lot of crossover in terms of the design aspects for both hobbies. There's crossover there. Dominic Versetto says he has a dentist mirror to check the nozzle size. That's actually a good idea. If you've got a little mirror or something, that'll help. Even if you don't have a dentist mirror, you can take your wife's compact mirror or your girlfriend's compact mirror. A steel nozzle worth it, Devin asks? Yes. Stainless steel nozzles or hardened steel nozzles are definitely worth the investment. I don't think they're that expensive. I know you can get brass nozzles like a dozen for $10 or something now. It's ridiculous. Or a dozen for $25, depending on where you buy them. My thing with nozzles is this. If you buy a good nozzle, it's going to last you. If you are hard on your 3D printer, you might ruin that nozzle prematurely. What I mean by being hard on your printer is if you don't understand the mechanics of the printer and you're constantly jamming that nozzle into the bed, many things can happen. You can damage the nozzle over time. You can damage your bed. Brass nozzles are notoriously soft, so they will deform over time. So I recommend always a stainless steel or a hardened steel nozzle. And if you're going to be printing something with abrasives in it, or any kind of additive like carbon fiber or anything like that, even wood, I would recommend going to a 0.5 or a 0.6 nozzle as opposed to a 0.4. Even though I have printed with a 0.4, it is really tough and can clog up really easy. A 0.5 or a 0.6 nozzle is going to save you a lot of headache in the end if you're printing with any of those types of materials. If you're just doing straight PLA, 0.4 nozzle is going to be fine. But yeah, I would recommend going to a stainless steel or a hardened steel nozzle. I think they're definitely worth the investment. Ruby nozzle, no. Mark, you and I have talked about this. Ruby nozzles, as far as I'm concerned, they're a gimmick. I know some guys swear by them. I think they're a gimmick. Here's the problem with the Ruby nozzle is when they first came out, it was very unclear of what nozzle was for what type of hot end setup. So people were getting the wrong nozzles. Even though they would thread in, the threads would be too long and you'd get leakage and it was just a real mess. However, I think that the Ruby nozzles, the problem with them is that, again, they're set into brass. So when that very, very thin brass starts to break, like if you crash that into the bed a number of times, that little brass ring that holds the ruby tip in will bust. And then you're out $130. Yeah, I'm not a big Ruby nozzle fan, and Mark Baker can tell you that. Mark and I have had many discussions about that. Question is cobalt nozzles good? Again, I haven't looked at a cobalt nozzle. I would like to, but as soon as I can get one in here, I'll try one out. But again, nozzles are like anything else. You have to take your time with them. You have to be able to, you have to understand your 3D printer, I think, for the most part, before you get into anything like that. So I know I'm not looking at camera all the time. I'm trying to see the chat here because I've got it up over here. Tungsten carbide nozzles are definitely worth the price. Benny Brady says, tungsten carbide nozzles, yeah, I'd think they are. Plenty of ideas for print projects for custom personal bicycles, and other people bicycles. Devin, interesting. I never thought about 3D printing for bicycles. I guess you could do a lot. You could do camera mounts. You could do grips. You could do pedals. I wouldn't replace any of the gears of the chain or the spokes. If you've got a big enough printer, you could possibly print some airless tires. What else could you do? I wouldn't do a frame out of 3D printing because I don't know if it would stand up to the weight of an individual. It certainly probably wouldn't stand up to my weight. You could probably do a seat, pouches, that sort of thing. I think that would be good. Yeah, Mark says he's got 3 Ruby nozzles for sale. I thought you got rid of those long ago, Mark. Sorry. How safe is PLA and TPU for internal use? Thumbtack Jake, what do you mean by internal use? Putting into your body, perhaps? Um, I don't know that it would. If you're gonna put it into your body, I would caution against that. Hey, there's RT. Roto brake covers to reduce brake contamination. Yeah. Yeah, brake covers would be a good use. Currently printing a vase mode vase set with a 0.6, even though it's a 0.4 nozzle, makes for a much stronger print. Interesting. That's actually really interesting. That's very cool. I'll give you $1 for all three, Mark Baker. Ben Brady's saying. So do you guys like this set? Like I'm get this thing as it's going to evolve over the next few months, of course. But I hope that you guys like kind of the new look and the fact that we actually have a table in front of us now. I know you got to see more of my fat body, but I'm fat shaming myself. But at the same time, I'm not using the shotgun mic anymore. I'm actually back to using my lapel mic, my lavalier. The coat is staying. I just, it was a gag and it seemed to work, and I think I'm going to keep the coat. Geraldine Ham, no personal pleasure allowed with 3D printing. What? Okay, I get what you're saying there. Yeah, there we go. Snapshot says he likes the new scene. Good, good. Yeah, I'm gonna get this camera right here. It's kind of out of, can I reach it here? Yeah, it's kind of out of frame. But I'm gonna get this camera set up so that we can do a top down. This is just my old Vixia pocket camera. We're going to use that, and then we're going to be using a few more things. I got to stop kicking this table. I keep moving the table, but other than that, yeah. This is going to evolve even more. I thought about putting some more printers over here to this side, but I do need some more light over here, so it will be something that evolves over time. Over here, this shelf here, which will get redone with some different models over time. Some of you guys might recognize this. Some of you that have been with me a long, long time. This guy. Back in the day, I love this because I can just pull myself in. Back in the day, this guy, who is affectionately known as Adamar, Adamar was named by a friend of mine's children. This little guy was found when we lived in Winnipeg, and I built my company around him as a mascot. I used to run a company called 3 Apes Media, which then just became Naked Ape Productions. And this little guy has been with me. We found him in the street, funny enough. When my wife and I were living in Winnipeg, we were looking for a name for our new company. And a friend of mine, or not a friend of mine, we found him in the street. We couldn't come up with a name, so we were walking home from the movies or from downtown, and my wife saw this in the street, and I just thought it was a rag or somebody's old hat or whatever. And she walked closer, and it was a brand new tie monkey, and it still had the tie tag on it. I took the tie tag off, obviously. A friend of mine made this little shirt for him, and we just put some Star Trek stuff on him. But Adamar has been around with me for, wow, almost 20 years. So he's we're going to feature him more in upcoming videos as well. But he's going to find a home here on the set somewhere. Print a stethoscope. I should. Are you planning any major upgrades to any of your printers? Yes, I am. One of the things coming up that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the Hero Me upgrade on the Ender 3. We have one that has been mocked up here with a small pancake stepper motor. This will be going on the Ender 3, but we're going to do a series of videos on this. First one, I'm going to show you how to put this all together, what material that I use to 3D print all the parts. This was all printed in PETG. We're going to mount a BL Touch on here as well, and then we're going to mount this all to the Ender 3. I have an Ender 3 Pro back here. We're going to mount it to that. We're going to give some new life to that old Ender 3, and then we may actually put Clipper on it, because on that Ender 3 I have a Raspberry Pi 3, but I've never connected it. So I stuck it in there, but I never connected it. So we're gonna put Clipper on it, and we're gonna see how fast we can get things, fast we can print with that printer in upcoming videos. All right, Tim, have a great day. Thank you for joining us today. A street monkey. Somewhere there's a stuffed guy cranking a stuffed music box. Yes, the street monkey. He was in perfect condition, and Adamar has been with us a long time. DeWitt says he just saw a bobcat in his backyard. What? Wow. Pierre, do you prefer Clipper more than Marlin? I've used Clipper a little bit when I built my first Voron, V2, and I found Clipper a little confusing at first, but once you got kind of through it, it was just as easy to understand as Marlin. I mean, Marlin came with a learning curve as well, because it's basically C programming. Clipper's kind of the same thing. It's just the way things are organized in Clipper, which is different. So I do like the Clipper ecosystem. So I may, I think putting Clipper on that unit once we get it all updated, then I think it'll be a nice little tutorial series. Ideas for lights or hot end pointing down to the nozzle for the Ender 3 Pro. Yeah, I've had lights on there before. I had like a strip of LEDs. It was fine. Over here, I've got a ring light on a magic arm, which is using a small rig clamp, which I just have clamped to the frame of my CR10. Over here, I've got just this little pancake light that I have over the Ender. But yeah, I want to do some sort of lighting back here that lights up all these printers when I'm working on them. But as far as a light goes on the nozzle, do I think that's necessary? I've seen it done. I don't know if it's necessary. I think that you can certainly get away with. Oh, geez, watch what you're doing, Mr. Cleveland. I think you can certainly get away with just having a light over top of it. You can see everything just fine. My wife wants to know where Snapshot FPB was 20 years ago. Street Monkey, yeah, instead of Naked Ape. I love Clipper because updates don't require you to reflash firmware when you do configuration updates. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of Clipper, and I think that Clipper is going to be a definite way to go, and I may eventually take all of my printers and move them over to Clipper at some point in time. Anything that's married to a Raspberry Pi is bound to suffer these days. I agree. I certainly do agree about that. Raspberry Pis are way too freaking expensive. Way too expensive. There's no word as to whether they're going to come down anytime soon. I hope that they do. I think that if you are looking at a Raspberry Pi, you might want to hold off. I'm actually very interested in the Manta boards from Big Tree Tech. I have reached out to them. Unfortunately, until next week, they are still on holidays for Chinese New Year, but I've worked with them in the past and I've done reviews with them, and hopefully they will send me out a Manta with the CB1 board for our upcoming new Voron build. I can let you guys know now that KVP, or Keene Village Plastics, which is the recommended ABS manufacturer for the Voron plastics, is going to be working with the first layer, and they're sending out some of their gray and their proper purple so that we can do all of our parts for the Voron on the Prusa Mark III. We've done all the enclosure pieces that we need using filaments.ca PETG in their dark gray, or black. No, I did them in black, I'm sorry. And then a couple of pieces in white that you're never going to see. But we are going to enclose that so that we can start printing those parts, and we'll let you know exactly how things go with the Keene Village Plastics ABS. And I think that it's going to work out just fine. I think it's going to be really cool. Raspberry Pis, with the new boards that are coming that have sort of Raspberry Pis incorporated into them, or as a little add-on board, the Raspberry Pi Compute modules, or the CM modules. Some companies have started to make their own CM style modules that you can put on different boards. I think that has lowered the price, but it also is going to make things, again, a little bit difficult. I mean, as far as the chip shortage goes, I think we're kind of past that now. But prices are still way up there. Like with the inflation rate that just happened. I mean, here in Canada, our inflation rate has gone through the roof over the past, what did they say, over the past 3 years, we've gone up over 38% across the board in inflation. Just in 2 years, 38% is unheard of. And we're on our way to crossing 40% here pretty soon, because we're going to see another increase in prices of groceries and other items. Electronics are kind of stable right now, but I think we're going to see even more increases. So that's where being a member of the first layer helps out, or using the super chat. That also helps out immensely when people use the super chat, because I pay for this program. Basically, the advertisements that you see, what I get from AdSense for this show, helps to pay for the show and helps to keep it going. But sometimes it's not enough. You know, sometimes we need stuff, and the only way that we can get that is if we have people like you guys who keep watching, keep sharing, sometimes participate with the super chats. They really help out for us to be able to get new materials in here to test, because 9 times out of 10 it has to come out of my own pocket if I can't get it subsidized by a company or supported by a company. So yeah, unfortunately, I kind of rely on super chats and things like that. I do have Patreon that I don't really use anymore because it's too much to keep up with. I do have a regular job, but that goes to pay for the roof over my head. And my wife is about to lose her temp position that she had. Her contract is up on next week, actually on Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be her last day. So we're going to be a little tight for a little while till something else comes along for her. But you know, if you guys want, it's great. We appreciate it. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. And 2022 almost ended the first layer. But we came back, and now we're going full steam. I'm here every Sunday. I've been here every Sunday since the beginning of the year. Other than the little hiccup we had with our stuff with Shaw, which is our internet provider, we're back on track now. So New episode coming out on Wednesday. I'm going to try and do some during the week live streams. I'll be doing those over on Twitch more than likely. Yeah, other than that, everything is dependent on what we do here to keep this show going. So, do it to sell your cookies. They're amazing. My wife does make amazing cookies, and she gave Tim some cookies to take home yesterday. He was here. Brought me this nice chair, which I really appreciate. I really appreciate that. What else we got going on here? What time is it? Jesus, 2:44 already. Wow. Dominic, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the super chat. RT, thank you very much for the super chat. Got milk? Yes, we do have milk. Maybe my wife will make some more cookies. 2 super chats. Thank you very much, guys. I really, really appreciate them. They do go into helping us keep this show going. So share this channel with your friends. YouTube has done something really weird over the last little while. We've kind of been up and down. Snapshot, thank you very much. $20 from Snapshot. I do really appreciate that. We're going to get that super chat thing going. I've got to reprogram the Stream Deck and stuff, but we're going to get the super chat going again so that we have some banners and some other things. HVAC A to Z, thank you very much. I'll help with that too. Thank you very much. I appreciate that so very much, you guys. It does help a lot. It does help a lot. But we are going to, now that we've built the new table and we've got room to do stuff, we're going to keep going forward. We're going to keep doing more content. Try and bring you guys as many new projects as we can. I got a lot of projects on the go. This one here with the grid wall or the honeycomb tool wall. I want to bring this wall back up because this is so cool. I want to show this one more time. This is what I think I'm going to do on the back wall here. You guys can check this out. I think you guys will like this. I think you guys will like this a lot. So this is what I'm going to do on the back wall. This is available on printables.com. And you just put some RGBs in it. It's a multi-layer wall. I think it'll do great back here. Hopefully I can get a filament sponsor to sponsor the dark gray and some white, and we'll get this up on the wall. I've got some LEDs here that I can use in it. I've got a controller that I can use with it, and I think it'll look really cool. What do you guys think? Do that wall with some lighting and maybe put a logo back up there. Do you guys want to see me put a lit logo back there somewhere? Would that be cool? What's the grid for Snapshot? This honeycomb grid, I'll go back to my cam here. This honeycomb grid is a tool wall. It all goes together like so, or like so. It goes together like so and locks into place with pieces that go between these two that will lock them into position, and then you can hang your tools off it and all kinds of other cool things. And that's going to go behind the door here in the studio, just so that I can make a charging station and put stuff up. We've got this bookcase here that you see over on this side, which holds filament and other things, and then I've got another bookcase beside it that may not be staying in the studio. I may actually put this up instead over there so it can be seen. We need to do some lithophanes, Matt Gurman said. Yes, we do need to do some lithophanes, and once I plug in the printers in the next day or two, I will be doing some of that. I need some white. I'm out of white. I need some white PLA. I just printed one this morning. DeWitt, thank you very much, DeWitt. I appreciate that. Another super chat. Yeah, it's something like a pegboard. Yeah. You print out everything that goes into it. There's little hooks and all kinds of stuff that just fit right into here, and they lock into place. They're friction fit. Yeah, you can do all kinds. It's like a pegboard. Why didn't I just buy a pegboard? Because I thought this was cooler. I thought that this was much cooler. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you very much, Sergio, for letting people know that. Smash that like button. We got 28 likes, 30 people. That's one of the best ratios we've had for a long, long time. Noise print. Test all printers full speed ahead. Yeah, once we get them going. That's the other reason I switched to going back to a lapel mic, was because once those start going, the shotgun mic will pick everything up. It'll pick up a mouse farting in this room. That's how sensitive those are. Remember, not every white is white. Yes, that is very true. There are different gradients of white. I tend to use the white from filaments.ca because I work for that company. That's my day job. I am a product specialist for them, so I get to play with a lot of their filaments. They send me out filaments all the time to play with and to test, and I've got a variety of machines I can test them on. I still have more printers that aren't in this room that we are going to be setting up in our little mini lab along with our resin printers. I don't want to bring resin into the studio unless I'm doing an actual demonstration with it, just because resin is messy, it's stinky, and yeah. Yeah, practical printing is one of the big things that I am keen to doing this year, and doing projects on practical printing, this being one of those projects. The other project that I'm working on is this guy over here. This project, just lift up my skirt there a little bit. This is a mini jib, what this is. So this has a center column that can go up and down. You can lock it into place. It can turn, and if you're not familiar with a jib, this is a camera jib. You'll see them used on movie sets a lot. They're like a big crane. They have a camera on the end and they have an operator on another side. The reason I'm building one of these is because I want to be able to get some really cool shots here in the studio. And that's one of the ways that I can do it, is by using this camera jib. I found this online, and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and I need some more hardware for it. But once I get the hardware, we'll continue printing, and this will be our camera jib. So lots of great things happening here in the studio. So practical printing is a big thing moving forward in 2023 for the first layer. The grid wall behind me, or the light wall that I want to do, that's practical. Doing a logo, that'll be practical. This will be practical. I want to find different ways to do 3D printing, because at the end of the day, this is all great and fine and fun to do, but you can run out of things real quickly to print. I mean, you can only print so many benches in your lifetime, right? So Devin, coffee time, question mark. I love coffee. I'm a big coffee fanatic. I actually have a little coffee maker down here that I use in the morning when I come down and go to work. It's a jack stand, or it looks like one. No, it's not a jack stand. It is a jib. HVAC, I'm also printing a micro jib. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Almost done with printing, waiting on the rods. I actually have my rods. I just need to get some more screws. I haven't gotten all my screws. I've got everything else. I just need the rest of my screws. And then I will be finishing the printing on my micro jib. Just remember, someone made their own sunglasses with little speakers and Bluetooth. Yeah, you know, I have some speakers here. I actually have a little box of speakers somewhere. Some 3-watt speakers. I also have a little mini amp. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, But there's a ton of stuff that I can be doing with it, and I probably will do some stuff with it very, very soon. Jack stand for a Chevy. No, it's not a jack stand for a Chevy. No jack stands for Chevys. Only jack stands for Fords. Well, I've just lost half my subscriber base. Okay, Ford boy. I'm a Ford guy. That's where Mark Baker and I differ. I'm a Ford guy. He's a Chevy guy. They're both really good vehicles in my mind. Both really good vehicles. You know, we're getting close to wrapping it up here at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to call it. Again, thank you everybody that contributed through Super Chat today. It really helps out a lot. I am trying to build my viewership over on Twitch as well. So I will be doing more Twitch streams over there. I will keep doing streams over here on every Sunday at 2 p.m. Now today we're just kind of still trying to get things running properly. Next week everything will kind of be back to normal. We'll have some lighting back here and stuff. But we'll do our best to make this look as good as we can for you guys. Great stream. Catch you next week. Thank you, Gary. Gary. I almost called you Jerry. I don't know why, but it's Gary. And we will see you guys all next week. I appreciate you all for coming and being a part of the show today and asking lots of questions. I love the fact that we had lots of questions. And I will see you guys on Wednesday with my comparison of Simplify 3D and Cura. And you guys can make up your own mind which one's better for you. So until I see you guys next time, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great 3D print. Next time, guys, take care.